from the coastlands in the south to the ridges of the highlands in the east, through the midland forest to the western farmlands, and up to the hot and dry lands in the north, there are varying needs for infrastructure, from a convenient complex road to a simple but crucial factory to a calm but great alternative system. These needs do not count for luxury despite their enormity, and providing them certainly isn't a political stunt. To this government, these infrastructural projects are a necessity just to make life comfortable and productive for the old, the not so old, and everyone in between. It is said that roads make a crucial contribution to economic growth and bring important social benefits. They are of vital importance to a nation's growth. In addition, providing access to employment, social, health and education services makes a road network crucial in fighting poverty. In the eyes of this government, any gap in our road network left unattended is a threat to our economy as a whole, no matter where the gap is. It is in this same spirit that this government penciled the year 2020 as a year of roads, and despite the crippling global pandemic, this government remains committed to fixing and upgrading our roads. So far, over 32,800 kilometers of road construction is already ongoing in various parts of the country. Out of this, 4,500 kilometers of road routine maintenance have already been completed. 130 kilometers of periodic regraveling, spot improvement and resealing works are completed. 170 kilometers of minor upgrading and drainage systems are completed. 5,170 kilometers of town roads have been completed in Tamale, Hohwe, Swedru, Takrady, Yendi, Obwase, Walewale, Nalergu, Kumasi, Gambaga, and 34 more other towns. Additionally, this government is building 4 new critical interchanges to improve the quality of commuting through Suhum, Obetebi Lamte Circle, Tamale, Pokuase, and Tema. Bridges, the giver of way for roads to cross water. This one here in Kulungugu is a 100-meter bridge built by this government to make it possible for traders to get their cargo into Burkina Faso. While the sick have their hopes in a doctor or a nurse, the doctors and nurses depend on health facilities to deliver on that hope. Without infrastructure, diagnosis cannot occur to allow treatment to follow. Because the government sees this clearly, it has built over 72 clinics plus 50 supplementary wards at different hospitals, increasing our hospital bed capacity by over 2,000 across the country. Also, in the government's unrelenting pursuit to improve rural healthcare delivery, it has built 482 community-based health planning and service compounds. And on the promise of enhancing emergency healthcare, the government has acquired and distributed 300 fully equipped ambulances to ensure that at least every constituency in the country has a dedicated ambulance on standby at all times. Yet, to this government, the evolution of emergency health care would not be complete without an impeccable mechanism to ensure the blink of an eye supply of critical medicines, vaccines and blood to precise locations. And so, to complete emergency healthcare evolution for the good of the people, the government is committed to a thoughtful institution of 4 medical drone delivery centers, with one at Omenakon for the southeastern communities, one in Yosu for the western communities, another in Impenya for the mid-country, and this one here in Vopsi for the northern communities. On average, these stations make 180 trips daily, delivering crucially needed medicines, vaccines, blood and test samples and results to healthcare facilities located as far away as 80 kilometers from launch sites. And more importantly, to enhance the comfort of our healthcare workers, the government has built over 64 staff accommodation blocks throughout the country, with an excess of 30 more under construction, altogether providing homes for over 1,000 staff. Electricity, the soul of machines, the spirit of a city, and the wonder of the village. Indeed, the need for electric power will remain insatiable, and this government knows it and has its hands all dipped into the job of generating enough of it for the people and industry. This solar farm in Gomwa Amenfi generates 20 megawatts of power and feeds it into the national power grid. Besides this, there are 3 more under construction in Lora, Kaleo, Bui and Kurugu, which together will generate 154 megawatts of electric power. Beyond solar, the government is building a hydroelectric dam in Chachado in the Volta region and another one in Pualugu with over 60 megawatts generation capacity. These, together with 21 power distribution installations and transformers, are ensuring stable power supply. Now, to ensure wider and proportionate access, the government has extended electricity to over 2,700 communities, with additional extensions ongoing in 628 different communities. The government is continuously installing and fixing lights on our streets, with over 99 streets around the country already lighted. Sea defense. A reinforced stone wall built to keep the sea from running beyond the shores, to disrupt the livelihoods and destroy property in coastal communities. Like this one here in Anomabo, the government has built 4 more in different towns along the coast, with a total distance of over 6,300 meters. Without cattle, there will not be enough meat, and there'll certainly not be any pure milk for anyone. But for milk to flow and meat to be abundant, water is twice as essential to the cattle farmers here in the north. And for any given crop farmer here, a good harvest largely depends on water due to the dry and hot climate.
This is the Bole district of the Savannah region. It is one of the districts previously noted for unending conflicts between local farmers and herdsmen. The conflicts mostly arose as a result of not just competition for pasture, but also for water. All that now belongs to the past, as the cattle now have access to water and pasture. As a result of which, the herdsmen no longer invade the farms belonging to the residents. This is the Mankuma Dam in the Mankuma electoral area of the Savannah region. Over 1,000 inhabitants whose main occupation is farming live in this community. It has one borehole which, according to residents, was a major source of conflict in the community. Thanks to the construction of the dam, pressure has significantly dropped. A herdsman in a nearby community says the construction of the dam has eased the burden on his wives and children who hitherto would travel long distances to wash their clothes and fetch water for other domestic chores. Additionally, he notes his herd is assured of water all year round and that he does not have to travel long distances to water the herd.
These days, because of the availability of water, we the herdsmen are at peace with the local farmers.
The Mankuma Dam also has the potential for aquaculture. When they are not working on their farms, some of the residents take advantage to fish in the dam.
Now if you go to Bole markets, there's fresh vegetable around the whole time. We get fresh vegetables and you don't hear people actually fighting over water. And you don't also hear people going around saying Fulanis have come to their farms to drink their water and eating their food stuff and everything. Because we have water in abundance.
From Mankuma, the team moved to Mandari. There is a cashew plantation next to this dam. The owner of the cashew plantation says all he needs now is a pumping machine to make maximum use of the dam to produce the cashew in commercial quantities. Our team noticed that the water level in this dam had dropped significantly, but the residents of the community explained that it was the result of overspillage.
We have 10 completed and we are now actually waiting for another group. For now, we are doing community base. Wherever we see a cluster of communities, we put one for everyone to enjoy.
The One Village, One Dam initiative is not only providing timely water for farming and cattle rearing, it is also providing alternative livelihood for farmers who decide to down their tools completely during the dry season.
Because of this, the government has thoughtfully started the construction of over 500 dams and farmers who consistently would lose significant portions of their harvest to poor or insufficient storage facilities. And for a truly productive and profitable fish trade for the fishermen and the traders, this government is building 10 new fishing landing sites to provide suitable
in a place that
This is a market store complex. It has 48 separate stores patronized by people from communities here and around Asante Mampong. Government is building 81 more others with over 5,200 stores in between them, serving over 10,000 communities across the country. Arguably, economies are driven by industry, and industries are a collection of small and big factories. Indeed, for any economy to boom, factories are a deciding factor. Along with this insight, this government made a profound determination to make sure every district in this country has at least one productive factory. On that count, this government has reconditioned 68 existing factories to boost their This is a community water reservoir. It takes 750,000 litres of clean water from its pumping station and supplies it to over 3,900 households within 33 communities with over 17,000 occupants every week. The average distance from any of these households to clean potable water has been reduced from nearly a kilometre to just a few yards. Like this one here in Ajumako, there are 182 more reservoirs with varying capacities across the country, plus 2,590 boreholes and 1,163 pipeline extensions, supplying clean potable water to over 3.6 million additional people daily. Here is a 38-in-1 cubicle private water closet facility for a rural community in the Ashanti region. The government is building over 1,400 of similar facilities for communities with no or disproportionate access to toilet facilities in all regions, plus 200 multi-unit flushable latrines, and has distributed over 17,000 units of Digni-Loo toilets. Also, the government has built 4,765 toilet facilities in communities where open defecation is pervasive. All of these together is providing decent places of convenience for over 8 million people whose options would have been cut to either open defecation or some awful toilet facility in some faraway distance. Youth. To truly empower This building here at St. Thomas Aquinas Senior High is a 12-unit classroom block. This other one at Northern Star Senior High has 12, and this Osu Presby one has 18 classrooms. And all that is just a scratch on the surface. Government has built over 1,000 of such classroom blocks in different schools across all the regions of the country, creating suitable learning space for over 450,000 pupils and students. Unlike this dormitory block, which gives boarding accommodation to 500 Takrady Senior High students, there are over 280 others built within various schools, accommodating over 112,000 students. Also, the government has built several libraries and science labs, altogether creating access for over 7,300 at a time. Beyond these, the government has further built 73 staff bungalows and flats, giving homes to over 700 teachers and their families. Above all, this government is building 9 senior high schools with science and computer laboratories, libraries, assembly halls, dining halls, and dormitories. Also, the government has built a complete state-of-the-art university in Somanya.
In a race you can't.
A true government is the one whose ambition does not end at getting power from the people, but empowering the people to whom that given power truly belongs.